this setup works. Trying something different. Always trying something different. I can see my chat box doesn't fit. Let's move that around. Why is it so hard? Just fit. It just doesn't fit. Look at that. Alright, well, maybe chat box not in the window today. Sorry, no chat box. I can still see you though. He's a soprano and he's like me. Oh, really? Well, you know what? I kind of love that. All right, it's good to hear that your brother can play the soprano uke. I honestly, I gravitated towards the ukulele instead of the guitar because guitar just felt like too much for my hands. Like I couldn't wrap them around well enough. It was hard to bar chords. Like it was just, the neck of it is just too big for my little, you said monkey hands and now I'm thinking like, I don't know, what do I got? Like little dainty lady hands. I don't know. I don't know what they are. They're hands. So yeah, let me turn off this background banter. Pew. Go away. Okay, it's off. Goodbye. Goodbye forever. Well, I hope the soprano uke works out for you just fine. I really do think that no matter what, you're going to be surprised, probably pleasantly surprised. My hope is that most people feel pleasantly surprised when they pick up a ukulele and realize how easy it is to learn like the basic 4 chords, which is all I'm going to go over today. I'm going to give a bonus 5th chord just in case we have people that watch this video and they're like already ready for another step. I kind of know that people vary. Yeah, we're not all the same. And if you've never played a stringed instrument before, it might be like, what is happening? I don't even understand. So I'm trying to make sure that it's super duper easy to start. And then we'll kind of keep getting a little bit more advanced as we go. My hope with having this little camera right by my side here is that you'll be able to see now the chords as I'm playing them from your own point of view. So when you look down at the ukulele, you will see exactly this. You go, oh, okay, that's where I need to be. So I'm hoping that makes sense. I think it was easier for me to understand when I saw it that way rather than the alternative, which is you're seeing it kind of upside down or, in a different, like you're seeing it vertically written out and you're like, what does that even, now I have to hold the uke vertically and figure out what that means. So again, I'm just trying it out. I don't know. Mahalo. Yes. You got a mahalo. Just saying, mahalos they are cheap, right? They were like, I don't know what it was in pounds or euro or whatever you spent to acquire the mahalo, but I think in dollars, in US dollary dues, it's like $40, I want to say. So they are very, very like acceptable ukulele. Anything underneath about $40, $50 is kind of getting in the territory of being sort of trash. And some ukuleles, when they're dirt cheap, they're really more like toys. So some people were like, oh, we got these cheap, like prizes from a fair, or I've seen people say they got ukuleles for like 10 or 15 bucks, but they're literally 2 strings that they just strung one and strung it up and then down the other side, so you can't tune it. That's not an instrument then, it's a toy. It's not going to make good noises. So yeah, 30 pounds, that's perfect. That is a perfect, acceptable entry-level ukulele. No worries with that. I'm using my nice one today. This is Sweet Pea. This is my first ukulele ever, and I love it. I love her. She's wonderful. A little more than $40, but not by much. I think this one was like $100, so not bad. I will also highly recommend getting yourself a tuner. Tuna. This one, I believe the brand it's called Snark. I think it's because they're very snarky. But Snark tuners are really nice because they got the little clippy dude and they can clip right on the end as you tune your ukulele. So that's really nice. So the first thing we're going to do is tune the ukulele. If you don't have a tuner to start off with, just try to tune the best you can. There are tuning apps on your phone. They'll play the pitch and you'll just try to match it as best you can. Otherwise, the way this one works is it shows, it's trying to tune my voice right now. There we go, there's a B. All right. But what it's going to do is when it gets into that blue zone, that's when it's perfectly in tune. If it goes into the yellow, it's sharp, and if it goes into the red, it's flat. So that's kind of how that works. Yeah, that looks good. E stayed in tune. Stop being sharp. Okay, so yes, the four chords should be G, C, come on, E, and A. All right. Puzzle B. Yes, that's me. I'm Puzzle B. I sing only in the key of B. As usual, I'm in a super weird, nerdy kind of mood. Okay, it's gonna be good. All right, so I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna start really, really simple, just in case people are picking up the ukulele for the very first time. The reason I always tell people that the ukulele is ridiculously easy to just pick up and play is because all you have to do with this beautiful tuning, technically this open chord is a chord. So that's kind of nice. And some songs, it sounds pretty when you do an just open string. But if you want to play a legit, like your first chord is going to be a C chord, okay? It's just like in the piano, whenever you're learning piano, they're like, you got to find the C chord, and that's like an easy one because it's all the white keys, and you don't have to think about like, okay, now I have to like stretch certain ways. It's like, it's just right there, evenly spaced, and everybody tends to start by finding middle C. So we're going to find C first, and the C, I would use your ring finger. It's just easy to get it under your fingers right away with the right practice. I think using your ring finger is the right finger to use for C for most things. And what we're doing is the four most popular chords in songs: C, A minor, F, and G. So here's C. C is just the third fret down of your very bottom string. Should sound like that. It's already a C chord. How easy is that, right? And I sat down in the music store to play Sweet Pea for the first time. I was like, oh my God, it's so easy. Now, A minor is not any more difficult. I would recommend you learn this one by using your middle finger. And it is the second fret down on your top string, the string closest to your face. And that's right there. So if you remember, C is here. A minor is just going to the opposite end, but one fret up. Should sound like that. You can tell it's minor because it sounds sad. So again, go back to C. And then bounce over to A minor. Like how my pointer is just like pointing at, there's the camera right there. F is the next chord we're going to go to. So F chord is you add now your pointer. See, when I wanted you to have your middle finger to do A minor is because now we're going to add the pointer and you're not going to move that middle finger. It stays there. You're going to go to your third string down. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and stay right there on that first fret. Okay, and that's going to sound like this. We're happy again. So A minor again, you let go of that top one and add it back. A minor, F, A minor, throw in a curveball, go back to C. You got it, I love it. Yeah, so again, even if you don't have an instrument on you just yet, it is still helpful to kind of see the pattern, see where that goes. Again, it's only 4 strings, so it's not a ton, it's not an overload of like, oh my gosh, 6 strings, or, you know, we're getting really simple too. I'm not going to get into crazy chords right now. You have an acoustic that looks just like this? Like an acoustic guitar or ukulele? Because this is my little uke. My little uke. Also, hello, Milkister Moo. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Acoustic guitar, heck yes. Well, if you know your chords for the guitar, you can definitely play along with some of the songs that we'll play later. But we want to get those chords under our belt. So we have C, play it 4 times, A minor, add that pointer, now we're ready for G. I'm going to play a G7 chord. Okay, now that's not super important for you to understand the difference between a normal G chord and a G7 chord, but a 7 means a dominant 7 chord. It makes it sound like it has to go somewhere after that. So here's the difference. Here's a G chord, just in case you're interested. Okay, we're not going to use it today. We're going to use mostly the 7 chord today. But here's what G's. Just listen to the way it sounds. Here's G. Right? You could end on that note. You could end on that chord. But if you have a 7, it wants to resolve that. Right? It makes it sound like it wants to go somewhere. So we're going to focus on the 7 chord. So let's start again. When you're on your F chord, you're going to move this middle finger down 1 string. Okay, you keep your pointer where it's at, and now little ring finger's got to come back into action. It's going to go right parallel with your middle finger. So on that 2nd fret, on the last chord down, or the last string down, all the way down. And it'll sound like this. It sounds like it wants to go somewhere, right? So again, from F, you're here for F. You scoot this one up and add that ring finger. That transition again, F. Now that transition took me forever. My ring finger did not want to follow suit. And sometimes it still takes it a split second to get this transition down, to get your pattern into your fingers. So even if you don't have an instrument, you could actually practice this motion. Just grab like a stick. Something that you could do this. Something you could do this and just get that pattern in your hands. Because the more you do it, the easier it'll get. You know, after a while it becomes muscle memory, which is such a nice thing to happen. If we do something repetitively enough, it's not even voluntary after a while. Right? So that's how we jump from F to G7. Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm going to play each chord 4 times. We're going to go from C to A minor to F to G7. And I'm just going to repeat that a couple of times so that you have the opportunity. I will save this video so we can, like Aisha, you had mentioned, maybe it would end up on a YouTube page so that you could go back to it when you do get your ukulele in the mail. I can absolutely do that. In fact, I will. So yeah, having the opportunity to play it slowly over and over again, it really does help. Like I said, get that muscle memory under your fingers. So let's start again with C. To A minor. Yeah, muscle. F. G7. and C. A minor. F. G7. Now you can play Crocodile Rock. You're darn tootin'. Let's try just 2 times now. Each cycle, we're just going to do 2 strums and then move to the next chord. Same tempo though. Keep it slow. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now you can play Heart and Soul too. Heart and soul. I fell in love with you. Heart and soul. The way a fool would do madly. Because you held me tight and stole a kiss in the night. Right? So just getting those 4 chords under your fingers, it will take a little time, so don't be impatient. Just give yourself a minute to figure it out. But once that becomes a comfortable cycle for you, you're going to be able to play like 99% of all music ever written. I'm being silly, but in all reality, like there are hundreds, if not thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of songs written around those exact 4 chords. And sometimes there are songs that are only 2 chords. That's pretty nice. So speaking of, I do have one. So this one is called Little Liza Jane, and I'm not sure if people are familiar with it. I completely understand if you're not. It's kind of a little obscure at this point. I'm not sure too many people are super familiar with it. But this is kind of how I chart things out. There are better ways for sure to chart things out, but when I know a song already, all I need to know is where the chord change happens. So, like this one doesn't tell you anything about, well, how long does this word last? It's not notated. So it's not the best method of learning a song per se, but I apologize. I don't actually have any like legit charts on me at this point. I'll work on that. But hopefully, again, this will still be something that once you hear it, it'll make sense. As you can see, there's 4 verses. Ignore the solo. We're not going to scat sing today. We're not going to do that. But there's 4 verses, and all verses follow the exact same rhythm, melody, everything is the same. So once you hear it, you're going to totally get it. And there's only 2 chords, so it's not going to be like above and beyond something that you can handle at this point. It only involves C and G7. We have to jump from one to the other. And now that is going to be a different muscle memory homework task thing for you. It's going to be the next thing you need to do because, right, we've already been reviewing how to come off of F into G. But now you need to go from C to G7. So let's just do that a couple of times. Get it under your fingers. Again, as the muscle memory gets stronger and stronger and your fingers become super swole, they are going to be able to handle this shift. And then that's all you have to think about for the entire song. So C, to G7, to C, to G7. So now this song, it doesn't go that perfect pattern, okay? So it's going to be a little bit tricksy for you, but I'll keep it super slow, and you'll hear when the words get there, that's when you shift, okay? So if it goes, I've got a friend in Baltimore, little Liza. Now switch. Jane. Streetcars run right by her door, little Liza Jane. Oh, little Liza, little Liza Jane. Oh, little Liza, little Liza Jane. I've got a friend in Chicago, little Liza Jane. Walk and feel the cold winds blow, little Liza Jane. Oh, little Liza, little Liza Jane. Oh, little Liza, little Liza Jane. I've got a friend out in Cape Cod, little Liza Jane. Bullfrogs singing in the pond, little Liza Jane. Oh, little Liza, little Liza Jane. Oh, little Liza, little Liza Jane. Skip that solo unless you really have it in your heart to solo. I've got a friend in Tokyo, little Liza Jane. Springtime blossoms grow, little Liza Jane. Oh, little Liza Jane. Oh, little Liza Jane. Hopefully that made sense in this, like what I said, that it's really just bouncing between two chords over and over again. And once you learn the pattern of that song, it doesn't really change. I do see an error in my chart where I have the G7 over the cold winds blow. It should be over little. Just like all the other verses where it's over little. I'm not sure why that's there. Can feel the cold winds blow, little Liza Jane. I mean, stylistically, you could mess around with it if you wanted. So we've also only been doing one kind of strumming, and I'm trying to keep it, again, super duper duper simple so that you're not like overdoing your brain power in one lesson about like, oh my gosh, I have to think about strumming now too. Sometimes if you have a history with playing the guitar or a stringed instrument, you'll like maybe naturally start feeling strumming patterns, but if it's too much, don't worry about it. Don't put too much on your plate all at once. It's more important to me to get those chords under your fingers. And like I said, after a while, the muscle memory just starts taking over, and then you have the brain power to start thinking about strumming. So, and some people can handle it all at once. I mean, I'd never played a stringed instrument like this before. I played the ukulele, and I didn't like, I don't really know how to describe it. I just sort of intuitively, like, I'd heard people play guitar and went, oh, that's okay. So we'll go. Like, I just sort of made it up as I went. I can't tell you why. I don't know. But that might not work for everybody. So you might want to look up some strumming patterns too if you're feeling like you don't want to wait anymore and you want to start thinking about that. But usually a lot of strumming patterns are kind of like down, up, 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 down, up. I got a friend in Baltimore, little Liza Jane. I'm trying to think too much. See, I'm not even great at it. But yeah, so more chord progressions that we can mess with here. More things that have those chord progressions is what I mean to say. Is a Justin Bieber's song. So even contemporary music continuously uses that. Because that Little Liza Jane song came from like, I don't know, something like early 1900s. So it's an old one. But this one is a new one. I don't know if that's the right word. It's not the right word, but we're going to go with it. I didn't write down what year this came out, but I feel like it was like kind of early to mid 2000s. So newer, and it literally, I didn't even put the chord progressions over the lyrics because it just keeps making the cycle from C, A minor, F, and G7. The stuff we learned at the beginning of this stream, right? So if you start by going, going too fast, I apologize. And if you want even simpler, just think of 4 strums per chord change. So it's... I'm still doing it too fast. Let's see. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't mute the stream. I promise you'll like this version. 3, it's 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And change. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Know you love me. You know I care. Just shout whenever, and I'll be there. You are my love, you are my heart, and we will never ever be apart. Are we an item? Girl, quit playing. We're just friends. What are you saying? Say there's another, and look right in my eyes. My love broke my heart for the very first time, and I'm like, baby, 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 oh, like baby, 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 no, like baby, 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 oh, I thought you would always be mine. See that little parentheses with the 2x? That just means to repeat the chorus again. Oh, baby, 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 oh, like baby, 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 no, like baby, 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 no, I thought you would always be mine. Stay on C. Oh, for you, I'd have done whatever, and I just can't believe we ain't together. I wanna play it cool, but I'm losing you. I'll buy you anything, I'll buy you any ring, and I'm in pieces, yeah, baby, fix me. And just a shake it to you. chord. Mine. See, sometimes there's an opportunity to not even press down any of the strings and it still sounds beauteous. Hi, Grand Coon. Hi. Oh my gosh, are you playing more Chrono today? To those of you who generally watch video games, you should watch Grand Coon's streams because he's been playing through Chrono Trigger in French and it makes me so happy. So happy. I love it so much. Good. I'm glad. I'll try not to stream too long so we can all go over and watch. We'll raid your channel. All right, so I've got a couple extra songs here. I got one more in this particular chord progression using the 4 chords that I've taught you. And then, or I should say, at least shown you. I don't know if I taught you those chords. You might have already known them. All right, let's see here. So let's get rid of Babe. And let's put up a Christina. What is her name? Is it Christina Perri? Is that who I'm thinking of? Where are you? Yeah, Christina Perri, 2001. All right, so this song got kind of commandeered by a Twilight film, but it's still a very pretty song. I actually love this song a great deal. And it only uses those chords, so that's super duper helpful. Although, nope, I'm seeing that there's a D minor chord. This was a bad choice. Dang it, I didn't even realize that. Well, hopefully you're down for learning an extra chord. You're gonna learn D minor today, friends. So, in the context of this, where are we coming from? C. Okay, that doesn't help us. You're just gonna have to jump to a D minor. We're gonna do it anyway, okay? So this is a little bit more advanced. It's not that the chord is any harder to play. It's actually not as hard as some of them. The E chord is the hardest. This is E. Look at how much my fingers have to jank around just to play an E chord. Like, stop it. I'm still not even great at playing songs where you have to jump from a chord to E, because it's usually like E, A, and it takes a while for me to assemble my fingers. Plus my fingernails are a little long. You should probably trim yours down if you're going to play the ukulele, because it's nice to be able to press with your fingertip, and if the nail gets in the way, you have to kind of good I don't know what that is. It's hygiene. Is it hygiene to clip your nails? I don't know. All right, so I digress. I do have a slight variation for you here. So D minor is you're going to start with your pointer finger. We're going to go up, or maybe think of it as down, right, from where you're sitting. So we're going to go down to the 3rd string, 1st fret. And now you got to get these 2 little guys. You have a choice. You can either bar with 1 finger. You need to get this 1st string and the 2nd string down. You need to bar those. It'll sound like that. Now that barring feels weird under my own fingers, so I do like the little hidden, right? I kind of squeeze 2 fingers in to play the same chord. So the little ring finger is hiding behind the middle finger to give that D minor chord. Whatever feels best to you. I do not, from everything that I've read and learned from other people's ukulele apps and YouTube videos, like whatever gets you to play the chord. And as long as you're not like hurting your hand. But that being said, I distinctly remember when I was first learning the ukulele that my arms, like my wrists and my fingers got sore pretty quick. I could play for about 45 minutes, like half hour to 45 minutes before my hands were just like, please stop. And then I just kept building it up. Like I've said multiple times, it's muscle memory. It's getting your fingers and your wrist and everything working together, get them nice and swole, and then you can play for hours. So there's D minor, okay? And you're going to be coming from a C chord, so it's kind of a jump. 2, 3, 4, and then take a moment to reassemble. Okay, so again, I'm going to save this video so you can always come back and mess with this again and get it comfortable and keep practicing it until you get it exactly right. Hopefully I wasn't totally off screen for that. I apologize. Okay, so this song, we're going to do it really slow. I'm not going to like do any repeats or anything like that. We're just going to slowly go through this. and promises. How to be brave? How can I love when I'm afraid to fall? But watching you stand alone, all of my doubt suddenly goes away somehow. One step closer. I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. Time stands still, beauty in all she is. I will be brave, I will not let anything take away what's standing in front of me. Every breath, every hour has come to this. One step closer. I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. And all along I believed I would find you. Time has brought your heart to me, and I have loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000 more. Let's just end there. Again, there's more to the song, but maybe this is why I was thinking that it still uses those 4 chords, because that chorus is legitimately the same thing. And I would say the G also works fine with the G7 because it keeps moving forward. Like I had said before, the G chord, you can end there. A G7 has that feeling that you want to move to the next chord. And since this one does cycle back around to the C chord, it works because you're... right? So it wants to go somewhere, and then you do go somewhere, and it works. Hooray! Okay. The last song that I would like to share with you is this beauty. This beauty. This one is always in my head. This song is one that I use for like mic checks, like if I'm doing sound tests at a gig. Oh, I guess that alters what you see. That's weird. I don't really understand 100% Streamlabs. My bad there, fellas. Okay. Things are happening. So the chords that we did not go over in the beginning, we went over C, we went over A minor, we went over F, and we went over G7. And then in that last song, we added a D minor. Now I'm going to show you a D major chord. Now this is another one where some people find it comfortable to just bar. So what you're going to do is you're going to bar the first, second, and third string on this second fret, right? So you can do that with one finger, being mindful to leave this bottom string open, all right? Now, I find this a really weird way to do it. It feels weird under my hands, and for some reason, I feel like I'm the weirdo. So this might be the way that feels like you want to do, and it might be more comfortable. I am, like I said, kind of weird, and I choose to cram every little finger to to like, oh, that's what I do. I couldn't remember. I bar the first two with my pointer and press the third one down with my middle. And the reason I do that, I think, is because then it leaves my ring finger easily able to be put down to make it a D7 chord, right? So if you open up and just play those 3 strings, that's a D chord. You add that final, basically a C chord, right? Put your ring finger right where the C chord is, and that adds a 7 to it. Now it sounds like it wants to go somewhere. That's the magic of a 7 chord. I don't know why that feels better under my fingers than just doing this, and I could still, but already I feel weird. You can train yourself to do anything, to be fair. So this is not, to me, like, if that feels right, maybe Legacia, this would work well for you, because you were saying you have bigger fingers, and sometimes it's like hard to cram all your little, you know, like bigger fingers in a smaller area, right? So this might be a little more preferable for you. But test it out and see what feels right to you. Anything you do in repetition will feel less and less odd anyway. So now that I'm doing this long enough, it's starting to feel kind of natural. But I will probably always default to this. I don't know why. I don't know why. Okay, so we're going to be jumping from G. Remember your G chord, right? Okay, so it's these 2 2nd fret down. And your pointer and your middle finger on the 2nd string down and the 4th string down. And then this ring finger comes 1 more fret down to be just a normal G chord. No 7s to be seen, okay? Just a normal G chord. And then D. And then G. And then D. That's pretty much the whole song. There are a couple moments where you're going to add in a 7, or it looks like as we get further down, the next thing you're going to want to practice is playing a G and then switching to the G7. I'm going to do that again a couple times so you can see what I do. These pointer and middle finger are the outside edges, and the ring finger goes down. And now they kind of reorient. The middle finger and the ring finger now are the outside bits. So that leaves the pointer finger to be that top string. 3rd string down, 1st fret. That makes it into a 7. So just let's do that a couple of times in a row. 4 strums per, and then we'll just keep jumping back and forth so you can feel that. So G. So that one feels weird for a little while, but it'll get easier, as it usually does. So let's try this one really, really slow, as the trend is today. Nice and slow, nice and easy, so hopefully you'll be able to play along. And if you're a little bit late, it's not a big deal. There are no laws. I can't hear you back, so I'm just going to assume you're all doing this expertly. So we start on a G chord. When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Here's what she said to me. Que sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera. What will be, will be. When I grew up and fell in love, I asked my darling what lies ahead. Will we have rainbows day after day? Here's what my lover said. Que sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, what will be, will be. We'll go down to the last verse. Now I have children of my own. They ask their mother, what will I be? Will I be handsome? Will I be rich? I tell them tenderly, que sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, what will be, will be. If you want fancy little jazzy ending, just get rid of that ring finger. What will be, will be. Sing by a soccer fans in different European. Really? No kidding. I didn't know that, Grancoon. I had no idea. Oh, it's a great song for that, I think. So that's kind of what I wanted to share with y'all today. Just a lesson of sorts. And hopefully a helpful one to be able to play along with some songs a little slower than you normally would get them. That being said, pretty much any song that you want to learn how to play, I love the feature on YouTube where you can slow it way down. I highly recommend that you do that for some things. Like if a song is just too fast for you to follow along, that you slow it down and then you can learn it at your own pace. But simple 1 to 4 chord songs are like kind of my jam. I like to noodle around a lot, so that's kind of how it is. Oh, they changed the lyrics a little bit. I guess that makes sense. Who's gonna win? It's gonna be me or me if you don't get out the way. Gonna kick your tachas. I don't think that's what they changed the lyrics to. But yeah, this song, like I said, I play it so much. I kind of have a... When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Here's what she said to me. Que sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, what will be, will be. When I grew up and fell in love, I asked my lover what lies ahead. Will we have rainbows day after day? Here's what my lover said. Que sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, what will be, will be.
Now I have children of my own. They ask their mother what lies ahead. Will I be handsome? Will I be rich? I tell them tenderly, que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. Oh, que sera, ra, 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 ra. Whatever will be, the future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be.
Oh my gosh, Des, what up, girl? What up? Oh my gosh, I hope you're having a good morning so far. Working hard, or hardly working. Oh my gosh, yes, yes, yes. Heart for the camera, heart for the other camera, heart, 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 heart. Oh God, I'm in my normal nutty mood. So thank you, Grand Coon. Thank you. So I just wanted to make kind of, I guess, an example out of the fact that, you know, you can start really, really simple with a song and then take it a million miles. Once it becomes a muscle memory, and you get it comfortably in your hands. So, you know, do it really slow, practice it up. And as soon as that becomes like, yeah, okay, it's kind of like speed running a video game, right? The first time you speed run it, you're like awkward and weird and you're trying to figure it out. And then after a while, it's just muscle memory. You're like, yeah, I know where to jump. I know what pixel I need to do what at. And then you're kind of looking for the next challenge. What's the next thing I can do? Can't think about beating a world record until you get your own PB. I'm learning things. So, I mean, that was kind of to the extent of what I was planning to do today. But if you guys want to hear any more music, I'm happy to do that. Happy to sing for you if it makes your day a little brighter. I'm trying to think if there's any other songs in my list here that are really simple. Man, my nose is running away from me today. Stop it. Spring is always a hard time for me because I'm allergic to everything. I'm just a delicate little flower. In fact, I'm probably allergic to the flower pattern on my shirt. Wait, Corridors of Time. Are you thinking of the End of Time, right? The End of Time theme from Chrono Trigger? Or are you thinking of do 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 End of Time theme. Yeah, what is the End of Time? Bring, 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 bring. Do, 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 do. I don't know that one. You're writing the names of the songs. You're like writing out the French version, and now I have to think about like what is the translation for that. I think it's so fun to watch. Like, I am really sincerely apologizing, Grand Coon, if it gets annoying in your stream when I'm like nerding out about the things being in French. But like, I legit, until you started streaming that, I didn't even process the fact that there was a French version of the game. Like, duh, of course there is. but it never occurred to me. It never occurred to me that that was a thing. So I love it, and I'm like so like it's exciting to watch a game I'm so intimately familiar with in another language, because it throws me off of where you are or what the moves you're using are, or like how to help guide you when you're like, hey chat, where am I going? What am I doing? I'm like, you know, this thing. Or when I mentioned Luca had died, you're like, who's Luca? And I was like, oh snap, she's probably got a different name in the French version. Lucha. Okay, good. And legitimately, I'm like, I get way too excited. Way too excited. It's just so fun to watch. I love it. I love it too much. Too much. Oh! So that's not even her original name in the French version. Are their names the same? Like, is Chrono in the French version, and Luca is Luca, and Marl? Oh, wait a minute. How about this one? Whoops. Let's open it in a better format. Let's open it here. Open with, because for some reason, Streamlabs doesn't want to open certain files. So, frickin' fine. Whatever. I don't even care. I do what I want. Let me see if I can find this here. Window capture. New one. I got this. I'll figure it out. Where are you? Yeah, this one. See if it'll show that. Oh, now it's on top of everything. Okay, yep, this is how it's been going today. Okay, let's put it right there. So random. Cartman. Anything. You guys, seriously. Not gonna lie, South Park growing up was like my jam. I love that stuff. And then it turns out I just love Trey Parker and Matt Stone. I wish I could meet them. It's a life goal. I got to see their show on Broadway, Book of Mormon. Oh, my heart. So good. Okay, so this song, should you choose to want to learn this, because this is a ukulele, you know, learning and play along experience, I did not teach how to play a G minor chord. So we learned how to play G. G is here. G7 is just reorienting to make the middle string be the top. And now G minor is totally different, okay? G minor, you're gonna want to take the pointer finger and place it on the bottommost string, first fret. Then the second fret down, you're gonna put your middle finger on the second string down. And then your ring finger is gonna go third fret down on the third string down. Sounds like this. Yeah, sounds super sad. What's gonna happen? Right, so just so you can hear the context, you will not need to bounce between these two chords, but just so you can hear the difference. Here's G major. Happy. G minor. I used to have a teacher in Boston that did that all the time. He'd play major chords, big ol' smile. Minor chords, very sad. It still sticks with me. But a lot of happy songs have minor chords, so that doesn't necessarily mean anything. This one you're going to bounce a lot between G minor and F. Back to G minor. And F. Now, if you were just playing Gato's theme when you go to the Millennial Fair and you beat him mercilessly to get some silver points, so rude. All right, give me your money. He has that big metal glove that comes out of his belly, and that's why I ended up writing that verse, because I thought it was funny. So you can actually play his little jingle with just those two chords. I only added the D and D7 chord just to fill out the chord or the verses that I wrote around his theme. Because otherwise his song is like 4 measures long. It's over before you even begun. It's just too short. In the context of the game, that works, but in the context of actually covering a song, it needs a little bit more, in my opinion. Okay, bye Grand Coon. I will see you, yes, I will see you in Chrono Trigger very soon. So this goes, my name is Gato, I have metal joints, beat me up and earn 15 silver points. The spacing on that is a little off, I apologize. I gotta work on my chords, my chord charts. They're just little guides to me at this point. I'm like, who cares if they're perfect? But I get this feeling like people might benefit from having chord charts that are legit, so I'll work on that. So yes, my name is Gato, I have metal joints, beat me up and earn 15 silver points. Right? So that's how the song goes, the original. And I wrote a couple verses around it. Maybe you will find them amusing. I'll play it slow-ish so you can follow along should you choose to learn a song that I helped write some stuff around. Nuts and bolts, I stand at 10 foot tall, fighting, bashing, all fun at the carnival. There's lots to do and see here, and you're anxious, I can tell. So if it's blood you're after, here's that D chord, I tell you that'd be swell. Singing my name is Gato, I have metal joints, beat me up and earn 15 silver points. Just play that cycle one more time. F, G minor. Hear ye, my arena waits for you. Think you're brave, well, show me what you can do. You'll be sorry and get a big glove to the face. You'll be crying no more, Gonzales. My name is Gato, I have metal joints, beat me up and earn 15 silver points. And when you're ready to end the song, that's when I jump to the end and go, I lost and you won, here's 15 points now, wasn't that fun? Because that's basically how Gato ends the fight, right? When he's like, whoa, I've had enough, you defeated me, and now you get the silver points. He sings that little bit at the end. So that's the song. If you want to hear it in full context, I'll do a little quick rendition of how I intended for it to go. If you see that it says that I do the chorus twice in English and then I do it twice in Japanese, and that's just because there's like a fan-made cartoon out there, Chrono Trigger cartoon, and he sings that in Japanese, and it's so much funnier and so much cuter, and he's actually quite terrifying in that. So yeah, to the YouTube friends, watch that stuff if you would like some good old healthy nightmares. Nuts and bolts, I stand a 10 foot tall, fighting a bashing, all fun at the carnival. There's lots to do and see here, and you're anxious, I can tell. So if it's blood you're after, I tell you that this swell. Singing my name is Gato, I have metal joints, beat me up and earn 15 silver points.
no wings for you. Think you're brave, well, show me what you can do. You'll be sorry, get a big glove to the face. You'll be crying no more Gonzales. They call me Gato, I have metal joints. Beat me up and then 15 silver coins. Singing, they call me Gato, I have metal joints. Beat me up and then 15 silver I lost and you won. Here's 15 points now. Wasn't that fun?
That sounds like something they say in the monkeys say in Earthbound. The in Mr. Saturn Village or whatever that's called. Where is that place? Mr. Saturn. Hi, Mannix. Hi. It was fun. It was so fun getting just punched in the face by Gato. Hashtag life goals. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, this was way fun. I had a great time. I hope that this was helpful. I'm going to save this video and put it on the tubes of you so that if anybody watching wants to go back and review some of the stuff we went over, learn those 4 chords initially, and then I also taught, let's see, I was only intending to teach you C, A minor, F, and G. We did G and G7, which is nice, that little variation. I think I taught you a D minor chord, a G minor chord, a D chord, even adding a 7 to that D. It's always good times. Famous boing 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 attack. Yes. So there's a lot to be gained, I think, from just having something slowed down and kept simple. And if you have recommendations, suggestions about how to maybe do this better, again, hopefully this angle was helpful so that you're seeing it from your perspective, looking down at a ukulele and not having to translate something else. Everything I found on like Google was like, you had to hold the ukulele up forward and see, oh, okay, that's how I do it. Okay. But if that works for you, then, you know, you do what works. But yeah, otherwise this was super fun. I don't want to keep it super long. It's already been over an hour and it takes a long time to download these episodes. So otherwise, you know, it'd be like my food prep streams of like 6 hours. I don't think I have the room on my computer for a 6-hour stream. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I think we're going to go raid Grand Coon, who stopped in a little earlier. He's playing Chrono Trigger in French. Don't know if anybody has seen that before, but it pretty much amuses the crap out of me, and I want to watch more of that myself. So let me just be reminded, raid in Twitch. I kind of forgot how to do it. I think you have to put things in the little, you know what I'm talking about. Raid, follow that. Oh, okay, is it just that? Well, let's see if he's going, and if he's going, then we're going to switch right on over. But I love you guys, and I hope that you have a good rest of your Wednesday. I think we're going to do a little impromptu stream later tonight, like late. I don't know, Lagacha, if he's still going to be awake, or UK people are going to still be awake. Central is probably going to be like 6 or 7 o'clock at night. And my husband and I are just going to play games, make commentary, and we're going to do like retro stuff, and we're going to ask for chat participation. We're going to ask that you actually tell us what retro game to play. And hopefully it'll be a game we've never played before, because that'd be sweet. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can head on over to the Grand Coon. Yeah. We're gonna raid you.